Hi guys, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
And I need to escape.
Well, that's because you're an artist. You're an escape artist.
I just hit the nail on the head there with humour.
His name is Commander Cocky. He didn't say that because he escaped.
He's Captain Foley, and he probably said that, but I was busy trying to work out how I'm going to escape because I am Samuel Hardcore Fenton Cockings the Third of Ratsacalica Fallipatorius.
Right?
Some multiple jokes. Here we are. Last Star Trek short called
Escape Artist.
Yep.
Hardcore Fenton Mud. All right. So
thoughts. And this is our review of the episode, guys. This is our review of this episode. We're doing it in shorter form, just so everyone can enjoy. Less of a full breakdown than before. But yeah, your overall thoughts then on this are the final shorts.
This one was not the worst.
Okay.
By any means. But it was a good character piece, I guess. I like Hardcore Fenton Mudd, I really do, especially from TOS. These Discovery ones make his character a little more hardcore. Hardcore Fenton. But and a little bit more psychotic, I think. This one was kind of fun though in a way, because this one you could see how a con man does his thing, and the tropes that they use over and over again to get out of situations, which generally work. So I thought it was interesting, and it wasn't what I expected when I heard the title or saw the preview. Yep. I thought it was going to be more focused on the Klingon ship, but there was a Klingon at one point, just a minor little thing.
And
but
they used that in the trailer, I'm sure, and completely
on purpose.
Yep.
Yep. So I was kind of pleasantly surprised that it was something else. We got to see a few different scenarios and scenes of his life, I guess. But the ending was rather very disappointing for me.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm sure we'll get into that. So that's my overall thought. It was not the worst one by any means, but definitely not the best.
Okay.
It was just right in the middle where there's another one as well, because there's only 4 of these. So.
So I enjoyed this, and partially for I felt it was the most well thought out short by a long way. It was balanced. The ending was actually thought through. The middle was thought through. The cutaways were thought through, and the intro was thought through. The other shorts had a lack of thought because they felt rushed and the writing was not good. This one, given the most time in production, I think just a different writer, and I believe it's one of the Rick and Morty writers, so he was brought in, this was like his tester piece for the larger show. It's better written. You don't notice the bad dialogue. You don't, well, I didn't. It felt thought through. And that's not something we get with a lot of Discovery. They have an idea, they run with it, and they don't think about the canon repercussions. They don't think about, the recrystallizing dilithium is not a thought through concept. Oops, the Discovery being lost and not being refit, and all these multiple things, they just sort of throw them out and don't really think them through because they're rushed. This one, and the spoiler of the end bit, which I'll hit straight away, the androids is his first linking to androids, which we know in TOS is his second episode. I was like, oh, brilliant. That's a very clever way of linking to his very few tropes as a character, and what a genius racket this character can do. I was like, wow, that's a brilliant little payoff, and it wasn't what we thought. Yeah, we thought it'd be his escape from the Klingon ship, the D7. It wasn't. It was in fact a story of how the real Harry Mudd made lots and lots of money by selling other Harry Mudds to lots of people, and you can take, I think, the flashbacks either as they are literally alternate hymns at the same time, which I kind of prefer, or him from the past remembering past escapes. I kind of like the second one because he doesn't escape from any of them. So I like the idea that they're all being sold back to Federation Starfleet, and they're all alternates of all at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And I will say the Tellarite, wonderfully done. Great. He almost outacted. I almost preferred him to Mudd, because Mudd was going through the motions of this is the Mudd slime. The other guy was living his own life. So that's what I thought. How would you react to what I thought?
I don't like the android thing.
Okay.
because that's the second time, and the second time we see Mud in TOS is when he's on this android planet. He got marooned there, and these androids had been around for forever, and they
Yep.
needed somebody to kind of. So they worked with him, and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't want to be there. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like the fact that he had all these androids. There's no explanation where they came from because
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't have found this planet by then because he's already off the planet. It just makes no sense. It's almost like they said, look, we know that Mud had androids at one point.
Yep.
Look, we know what we're talking about here. Look, look what we can do. It ruined it for me. The whole
Okay.
episode was good until that very end point with the androids. And then I'm like, oh, for Christ's sakes. And I said to Sylvia, people are going to be pissed about this.
Okay.
She's like, why? I'm like, because of the android thing, because it doesn't tie in, especially in this time. I haven't watched any other reviews for it. I haven't heard what,
I
you know,
just watched it
other.
before we were filming this. Yeah, so it's been just your response I'm hearing.
Yeah, same here. I know Anti-Tracker went on last night to talk about it and more Reloaded, and I didn't listen to them because I know exactly what they're going to say. But I want to do this review first and get this out there. I liked it right to that point, to the Android point.
Okay.
One thing that can be said that I really did enjoy was the little TOS Easter egg at the end where the doors open up. You see all the Muds, and he's wearing the exact same uniform that he had in TOS with the little in that episode with the androids, to be precise.
Yep.
That was beautifully done.
Yep.
I did enjoy that, and that was a nice nod that they should have had. I think the whole character being in the whole thing instead, but what do you?
I thought it was a little bit pandering because, like, look,
No.
we do one thing right. That sort of like.
No, see, that's not pandering. Pandering is the look, the androids thing that we did totally wrong.
But the
we
fact they had
watched
the
Star Trek.
androids, I was like, they didn't need to have the both the same thing. I was like, well, now they just used everything. They've now mined all of Mud. There's nothing left. That's
much.
it. Yeah. Okay, so
There should have been some mention of the Venus drug.
Yeah.
It's trying to escape. I can give you a pill that would make people, that'd be.
Yeah, or he gets attacked by a woman who's been affected by that, and that would be a perfect reference. It's just someone who's been, it'd be even cleverer. Like, we didn't need the Klingon bit, we could have had that instead. Okay, so back to the androids for a second. So my context I took from that in my own little thing is that, okay, so we know so little about Mud, so little, and Discovery doesn't help that at all. So he ends on this planet with androids. He's got Android Stellar, Android Army, who've now basically forced him to stay there. But what if that he's always liked androids? And, like, why does he go to that planet? Well, what if because he's always liked androids... Because, I mean, in terms of a con man, that could be thoroughly useful. I mean, androids are not something in Trek, conventionally. So that was very special in TOS, actually. I was like, ooh. So that's a more different piece of tech, except it was data, but that, again, was special. So what if he's always had the fascination for them? This is one of those prime examples. And then, well, wow, he finds a planet with sort of sentient androids that are primed to be controlled. They're better than ones he could ever do, which is simple replicas of him that he could mentally program to the limit of what he can do. Maybe they rebelled as well against at one point. And he finds a planet, and it's exactly what he's wanted. That's why he settled there. It's like, wow, I've always liked androids, I'll make them all, and and then more advanced. So I kind of saw it as this is his precursor to that. Not that, that sort of causality thing, or perhaps he went to that planet first, took some of their tech, and then utilized it, and then went back again, and then he got trapped. So there are certain causal things I thought, okay, it could link.
Okay.
That's
I like that. I never considered that, but that's interesting.
Yeah. Because I
need to go back and watch that episode and see exactly how he got stranded there. But if that's the case, that's actually very well done. It'd be a clever link in if they do that.
Which one? The first one or the second one? Or both?
Where you said that he went there, got the androids he needed to do this, and then went back, got stranded there somehow, and couldn't.
I didn't mean that exactly, but that could be clever too. What
did you mean then?
Oh, that he went and he went as a con man, find the place, and he stole some tech, and with that he built himself. That's all he could do. And they're very limited in what they can do. They're for the most part servants or just living his loop of existence. So they're not I didn't get a sense of much more beyond that. Whereas the other androids were a bit more beyond that. And then he went back for more, or went back to a better android, and they trapped him there. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just thought, as a scam, it's a brilliant scam.
Mm-hmm.
He's wanted, catch him. It's just like it's real clever, and I thought there's ways of making that fit with because they're not as smart as like they're stupid bots.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that could be a real interesting way of doing it.
Yeah. When I first watched it, before I watched it, I thought, where are they going to put this? Is it going to be like a prequel? Is it going to be after Magic to make the Saints man go mad?
Yes.
It's clearly afterwards
Yes.
because one of the things he's wanted for is penetrating a space whale, which was kind of funny.
Very Orville line.
Yeah. And then, well, attempted homicide was on the list as well, which is interesting that the Federation would let him go at all. But anyway.
Well, I'm assuming he escaped. I mean,
and almost killing the Duke. So he almost killed his father-in-law, I guess.
That's what that meant. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
I don't know how often we're going to see him as Mud, because like you said, they kind of mined all the mud and like out, and he's not as jovial and as fun as the TOS Mud. He's just darker. Just like the rest of the show, it's just so much darker.
He's unfortunately more of a villain than a foil.
Yeah.
You could imagine him in the old one as he did, or say come back and some scam he's doing gets found out, and he's not doing it in a mean way, just in a crook way, but he can still chat to Kirk like a bro. He can still make fun of Spock, and yet Bones relate to him. This Mud, if he ended up on Discovery or Shinjo or our next hero ship, they'd just lock him up. He'd shoot them. There isn't any, like, he couldn't play or have fun with any of them. He's not that sort of guy. He's a homicidal man that okay, maybe he only kills when he knows he can reboot time, but still, he's not the same man. He's not the same character. I know he's meant to evolve into that other character, but you wouldn't. He's an antagonist. I wouldn't. They'd have to completely redo how they've played him to make him that fun. Oh, Captain, whoever the hell's gonna be Captain Pike. I'm here to sell you some cool stuff. No, Mud, we're gonna take you on. You're gonna be in prison in 2 minutes. No, like there isn't any lines now. Whereas the original Mud's like, yeah, have some fun with it. So they've kind of broken the character by giving him the darker side, because he's a very one-dimensional character. They've just done the different dimension of that one-dimensional character, and they've broken him. But he was good, just not Mud good. It's tricky.
Yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed most of this. I thought it was pretty cleverly written, except for that end part. As soon as I saw the end, I just sunk my head and I'm like, oh, people are going to be so pissed. Because I thought through the whole thing, I'm thinking, this isn't too bad. I mean, it's kind of a standalone piece, whatever. And then the whole Android thing, I knew that people were just immediately going to draw parallels. A lot of YouTubers out there are just going to be like, no, we didn't encounter androids until blah, blah, blah. If there's more clever thinking behind the process, then fine. I give them kudos for that. But I don't think that was the case. I think it was very much a look what we know. We know there's a thing with androids in Mud, right? Look, we know that. And it was a very clever way to make money. I mean, if you could do it. I love how the Tellarite rips his arm off, and you see other muds in the room with arms missing because of the same thing, I guess. So, and also at the end, the programming kind of goes loopy because they're all repeating the same stuff. So, there's some good writing and some cleverness there, but yeah.
So you liked
Discovery,
but the payoff didn't work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, obviously, the payoff worked well enough. If you sort of make it, if you try and like with Discovery, it doesn't. Discovery doesn't work as a show by itself. It doesn't work as a show with Trek. But you can sort of think about it and that's what we try and do. We don't say, oh, it's not canon because they've forced it to be canon, so we have to try and make it make sense. So they've thrown us this curveball. So obviously in my head, I'm not thinking it doesn't work because they're telling us it has to work. That's just the fact, unfortunately. So I was trying to then bring the solution to that, because that's all you can do. The shame of that or whatever. But I'll go back again though. The Tellarite was great. Good actor, good choice, good makeup. Didn't act like a Tellarite at all. I will say that. He didn't act argumentative. He was very his own self. So he could be any alien. didn't at least. But how many times did I say in season 1, just use a familiar alien? For God's sake, why do you keep inventing new ones? Use the universe. At least it was a full-on Tellarite. Cool. Didn't add anything, but cool. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I didn't mind him at all. That was great. I just wondered I kept wondering what his sister looked like, because why would Mud sleep with her? But anyway.
Well, I've never seen Tellarite women, so maybe one day. That'd be the double flashback. Yeah. And then what do you think of the actual flashbacks, with the Klingon mini flashback, the little lady flashback, and the Orion flashback? What do you think of the flashbacks?
Oh, the Klingon one was just in there for the trailer, I'm pretty sure, just to make us think it was something else. The Orion one I got a good laugh out of, because the Orion males are so stupid. They just played for dumbasses. The other one was interesting. I love how people are kind of like they're going along with his whole bullshit, and then they call him on it last minute. Especially the Tellarite kept trying to convince him that, yes, I believe you. Oh, I'm going to help you. Two to beam up, two to beam over, right? Yeah. So I thought the flashbacks were well done. I could have done without the Orion one personally, and the Klingon one was just kind of pointless, but the other one was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought they were all fun enough, but when I saw the one with the little lady, I was like, oh, that's a Klingon child. That's weird. Because the makeup looks almost identical to a Klingon, because they've ruined the Klingon makeup. It just looks like a generic alien face until she got close. I'm like, oh, it's not a Klingon. Why do they make Klingon look so much like Klingon, the new Klingon? Because that's what I was assuming. They were continuing the single flashback. From the first flashback, he's with a Klingon jail. Then he's given, by this renegade Klingons daughter, takes him around, and they know it's just a small alien lady. I'm like, oh, but she looks like a Klingon, like so close. I was like, oh,
I never thought that.
Okay, I was like, until it wasn't. I was like, oh, that's a stupid choice, but okay. But yeah, I mean, it's weird piece. That was a cheap piece. It's just walking through a set corridor thing. I guess they ran out of ideas. It's like, well, we got this set, walk through it. It's a bit of a Chrono set from episode 6, which have walk through it, and that'll be the second flashback. Because they put the money into redressing a set into the. So then they beam aboard this Federation ship, which they reveal, which is was in the Battle of Byron Star. It's one with those 2 lowest along nacelles. I believe it's a Hoover class, but I have to check that. We can talk about it later. But it's I was glad it was just another one of the fleet, one of the better looking ones. But I was a bit annoyed that it was just the Discovery shuttle, transporter room and corridors, because they specifically called out Discovery as being brand new. It'd have the most advanced tech. So now you tell me that the corridors were already in the older ships, therefore Discovery is not as new, because they tend to put newer corridors and newer ships. I know you're using what you've already got, but so are you telling me that all that timeline showed the exact same interior stuff? Then the Discovery is not more advanced. It's not new. It's not new. Then that means does the Connie look the exact same as well? I mean, it will do pretty much, because they're redressing. Who the hell cares? But I was like, I mean, seriously, just do a green screen set of a transporter room. Do something cool. Have fun with it. You know what I mean? Like, doing the same sets, it doesn't work. But then the last ship we get on Mud's carrier, what do you think of that ship?
This thing is hideous. Especially now that I'm looking at it in freeze frame. Yeah. It's got Discovery nacelles upside down. It's got the nacelles plastered everywhere. It's even got, like, I think there's a Europa style on this. Not Europa. It's got a whole bunch of different Federation nacelles from different ships plastered all over it, and it looks like a redress of the Empress's ship from the Mirror Universe, just filled in, and it's awful.
So what they did is they looked at the ships they already had. They said, oh, this one ship that we very rarely see in the Klingon fleet looks nothing like... It looks the least like a Klingon ship. Because it's a Klingon ship. So no one... Yep. So no one is going to know it's a Klingon ship and make this connection. It's a Klingon large cruiser carrier, which is a big ship. And then we're going to just reutilize engines. And yes, there's no way it has Discovery nacelles on it. What are you on about? What are you talking about? And then it's all attached.
At least it got the coloring right on some of the nacelles. The lower one in
Good.
this picture looks like a
Okay.
sovereign nacelle. I'm just saying it's not, but at least it's red and blue.
It's the most. The audience won't remember this as a Klingon ship, and they won't care enough. At least there was a ship shot, but make a low, simple poly 2-man freighter for him. This is an awful thing. It's cheap. It's simple. It's nice as a shot, but it's like we're gonna try and cheat the audience out of because they don't realize. But as ship guys, we know. So tell me, Mud stole a Klingon warship. Then he stole a Discovery Crossfield class, undid the nacelles.
Well, no, he went to the Battle of the Binary Star grave site and just scavenged parts because nobody else did. Federation didn't go.
I mean,
clean up the mess.
That's actually an okay suggestion, but again, lack of thought. This is Discovery lack of thought, and I know they tried, but they tried the least they could possibly try. And just like the D7 reference, trying the least you could possibly try loses you points because then when you start thinking about it, which in just Star Trek, you tend to think about it. Even with like that classic Kit Bash TNG ship, there's like 18 ships. They try to change the design enough each time to look different, and they try and do things that are like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. It's like, nope, it's not interesting. So you lose points on the ships, just a bit. Yeah. But I like the ending personally. That's just me. Or at least I think it could work. But it's fun because it means that a follow-up is interesting. Because if you're trying to fill in the gap between... But the thing is, he hasn't done TOS yet. He still has to change from robots into Spice Miner and not be...
Right.
So, what is your final score on the final Discovery short? The things that meant to keep us between the original and how would you order them now if you're going to order them?
Oh my God! All right, so Calypso's number 1.
Okay.
Brightest Star would be. You know what? Calypso's number 1. This is number 2. Brightest Star's number 3. Runaway's number 4.
And this out of 10? Although hard to say because we haven't gone back to the other ones in order, but if you had to just abstractly get a number out of 10.
Because it had me pretty happy through most of it till the end, I'm going to have to give it a 7.
Yeah, I want to give it a 7, 5, or 8 because it's the best thought out and best written of them. Like, hands down. Calypso's really well written, but it's like so abstract anyone could write it. You know what I mean? And it's so it's so simple. It's so one tone in a nice way, but it's like could be anything. I would still say that's a better. Calypso is the best Discovery ever made. This is some of the best Discovery ever made. Bright Star was the most disappointing Discovery ever made because it, hurt its own logic and re-retconned it. And then Runaway was so poorly thought out.
One of the best characters.
Yeah. And Runaway was so poorly thought out. It's incredible that you can tell it just did not give two cares about a second draft because there's more mistakes in it than there are correct things. And yet Tilly does a good job, but that's actress, not script, story, editing, or whatever. Yeah, so there you go, guys.
Yay.
Now we're back to main shows in 2 weeks. Also.
What are your thoughts, guys, on this episode? What did you think about the whole Harry Mudd thing and the Android thing? Let us know in the comments down below. And what do you think of the ships? But actually hold the ships because we're going to probably do episodes on the ships separately. So we got to talk about these. Anyway, guys, love to hear your thoughts. As always, click the like, click subscribe, and tune in for more because we're going to be doing all the Discovery Season 2 episodes, short breakdowns like this, and then we're going to do lives to follow up so we can chat with you guys and get a little more detail and in-depth on them, which is going to be fun. So tune in for those as well. And if the best way to do that is to hit subscribe and hit the notification icon so you get notified.
Yeah, and of course, support us in all the great ways. Patreon, the YouTube lives, like we said. Just, if you want to support what we do, to do more, then do. Multiple ways, all the ways. And I think we've got I don't even need to go into it, all the ways in the description below. There's
lots of blue clicky links down there. Go click them. Play around in the links in the description. So, anyway, until next time, and another ship or Discovery review or Orville review or just more Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I am Commander Kungs. Bye, guys.
See you soon, guys.